Hello, dear students. So in previous class, we studied about the antimicrobial preservative efficacy testing, and in this chapter, we have clarified that what actually are the preservative testings. Okay, guys. So preservative testing. Let's remind the previous lecture when we are going to add the preservative in any specific either sterile or the non-sterile doses to preserve the active ingredient which actually exerts the antimicrobial efficacy okay. So at the regular interval we have to check the activity of that particular dosage form against various microorganisms. Let's suppose I have a specific dose of 10 mg per ml and I already put the preservative onto it. Now, how much potent that drug will be? That is my first thing that I want to clear it out. That is my first query that I want to clear it out. That how much long I can use this particular antibiotic. So I will just fix some specific time intervals. Okay, for example, if I have a pharmaceutical product and I want to check its efficacy at the regular interval of 15 days. So after 15 days, whatever test just I applied regarding the antimicrobial, either I will go for bacteriostatic effect or I will go for the bactericidal effect, whatever effect I am having, okay. So at a regular interval of 15 days, I have to check the efficacy, the potency of that particular sterile or the non-sterile dosage form. Once it has been confirmed that after 45 days, means after three regular interval of the testing, I identify that after 45 days, the activity it's gonna half. Okay, so it means the preservative is now active to the half of its potency. Means up to 45 days that particular sterile product can be used, and if you will use after 45 days, so there will be the 50% reduction in the preservation of that particular ingredient. It means there is 50% chances of deterioration of the particular ingredient. Okay, so the efficacy of the preservative, it become half. That means after 45 days, again, it will become again half. And just after 45 days, the whole sterile dosage form will be totally microbial contaminated. Okay, so these are the phases inside the antimicrobial preservative testings that we have gone through. So this is actually the main theme. It is not a very big chapter. It's a specific chapter that how you will test the preservative efficacy and how you will just proceed for it. So firstly, we have to understand that what is antimicrobial preservatives and how we can test these antimicrobial preservatives and how that particular preservative works. How we have to check the potency. So simply, antimicrobial preservatives for preserving the samples. They are being used to preserve the active ingredient from the deterioration. For efficacy testing, we have to test the efficacy of the sterile and the non-sterile products at a regular interval of the time. And from that particular days, we have to identify that how much is the 50% reduction in the efficacy of that preservative. So that we can conclude that this particular preservative, when added to the any sterile dosage form, so up to 45 days or up to 70 days, your sample is preserved. Means we have to use that particular product within the particular day's limit. After that, there will be the chances of microbial infestation. That is the main theme of the antimicrobial effectiveness testing. Okay, if you understand these things, I think that there is nothing more for me to explain some other thing. Yes, the another thing is that now we all know that what are the preservative testing, how we have to just go for these testings, but there are certain other different procedures for conducting the microbial testing or the preservative testings on different types of the sterile, different types of sterile and the non-sterile products. Now only that particular things we have to know, only that particular protocols we have to follow. Okay, so there is a list. In that particular list, you can identify that, for example, if I'll go through the amoxicillin, so number one drug is amoxicillin. How much days for that particular amoxicillin can be, the preservative can be added for 90 days. It has already been in the list. That what we have to follow, we have to follow the protocols. Means if I'm choosing the drug, that is either amoxicillin. Okay, so we have to see, yes, 90 days is there. It means I have to use that particular drug within 90 days. So now we have a list and we have to just study these things. But we have to consider the main thing, why we are doing the preservative efficacy testing. And again, I'm telling you, the preservative efficacy testing is, now I am going to share the screen and show the what categories we are actually used in the microbiology lab and what are the procedures for the microbiological testings. Okay, so we have to just had the knowledge of these things. We should not go for the deep study regarding this, but as per the Indian Pharmacopoeia or the British Pharmacopoeia or the United States Pharmacopoeia National Formulary, all the testing is being divided into the articles. Means for each and every article, the specific test is being given. Okay, and as per the United States Pharmacopoeia, they have categorized the articles into four categories, and within that particular categories, we have to identify that in which category we are going to test which type of articles. Okay, so these are the product category for testing purpose. Okay, what testing? That is again the microbiological testings. Okay, so the category one, according to the United States Pharmacopoeia, it includes the injections, other parenteral including emulsions, otic drugs, sterile nasal products, which is made with aqueous base or the vehicles. Okay, so these are the category one of the articles under which we have to perform the microbiological testing. Another one is the topically used product made with the aqueous bases or vehicle, non-sterile nasal products, emulsions, which include those which apply to the mucous membrane. So these all type of product as well as the articles are being microbiologically tested for their preservative efficacy under category 2. The category 3 include the oral products other than antacids, which is made with aqueous bases or the aqueous vehicles. Okay, so in category 3, according to the USP, the oral products are being launched for microbiological actions. And in category 4, the antacid are being tested with which are actually made with an aqueous base. Okay, so these are some of the categories that has been formed by USP. Now, the thing is that when does a product need an antimicrobial effectiveness testing? Yes, this is one of the main important points. When did we confirm that now the product is ready for the antimicrobiological testing? And in which conditions? Yeah, what are the conditions that confers regarding the antimicrobial testing for a particular product? Okay, so it depends upon the preservative system. Okay, again, I am telling you that we have to consider, we have to have the knowledge of the half-life or the shelf life of a particular product. Okay, if we just know the shelf life of the particular product, so up to that particular time, we have to choose the preservative and we have to add them. As a part of stability study, it is beneficial to determine if the preservative system will stand up to the product's shelf life. Okay, so the depend upon the totally the preservative system, that what type of the preservative system we are using for the preserving the particular sample or for preserving its shelf life. It may also beneficial to determine if the preservative system chosen for a product is compatible with the formulation of the product. If it is compatible, then only we can use the preservative. If it is non-compatible, then we have to restrict the use. But if in a condition when there is no any specific preservative for a product to preserve, then what will we do? Then definitely, if either it is incompatible or it may be compatible, we have to use the preservative, but for a restricted period. Okay, we should not just prolong that particular period so that the ingredient must deteriorate, okay, or must destroy. So it is totally depending upon the type of the preservative system that we are using. Either it is compatible to the ingredient that we are going to preserve, or either it is non-compatible to the particular ingredient which acts as an antimicrobial activity, or which is an antimicrobial drug. Okay, so this USP procedures is actually intended for self-contained finished products. Okay, so this USP, this United States Pharmacopoeia's procedure for the microbiological limits is only based for those particular products which are self-contained. Okay, which is having their specific, which we use as specific or the self-contained finished products. Okay, where we can say that when the product is going to finish, it is having its specificity, like the tablets, they are contained in the sachets or in the in a tablet, like a tablet packing, like alu packing, or blister packing. Okay, so these are the contains, these are the self-contains, okay, that we have to use in these particular testings. Okay, so the note is that it is necessary to retest the effectiveness of preservative system anytime the formulation is changed, or when significant product either in, or when the significant or packaging changes occur. Okay, so preservative testing, since the production of the particular formulation up to the packing of the formulation, we can go for the different phases, and in any type of the phases we can either check the particular check the effectiveness testings. Okay, so when the product gets finished off, when it just goes to the market, then from the market up to the interval of some specific time interval, like 15 days, like 30 days, you can take the samples from the market and you can check the effectiveness or the preservative effectiveness of that particular sample. Okay, so it should be done in a big industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, where the number of the tablet, where the lakh or the millions of the tablets, they are being used, or they are being packed, or they are being manufactured. Okay, so in that particular instant, we can go and we can check the effectiveness testing. Now the validation is very much necessary. Validation is nothing but the development of any method, or to validate by we can say that to test the to store the records maintained for the effectiveness testings. Okay, so the validation is actually a documentary evidence that we have to show in front of anyone that yes, we have validated this particular thing, and within a specific time interval we have validated each and every parameter which belongs to the antimicrobial effectiveness. Okay, so when the first time the product is tested for antimicrobial effectiveness, a validation is necessary to show the microorganisms are either able to withstand the formulation or not. A full validation is performed in 3 independent studies, with each study recovering not less than 70% growth of inoculum versus the control. Now we have to follow here the microbiological test. Okay, and the microbial testing, that is not done for a single time. Okay, here we have 3, 4, n number. The series, the number of tests, it will be n. Okay, it may be 10, it may be 20, it may be 30, and on that particular basis, we have to find out the standard error mean. And this standard error mean, it signifies that the studies, these microbiological preservative testing studies, it should not be less, it should cover, or it should recover not less than 70% growth of inoculum when we are going to check it with the control. Again, the two different groups we have to make. First, the control group, another one is a non-control group. Okay, so we have to check our test drugs with the control group where we are giving no any specific treatment. So up to 70% growth recovering, it should not be there. Okay, if it is more than that, then definitely the product, we have to just stop the usage of that particular product. We have to restrict that particular product. Okay, so the necessary for the revalidation is actually done when there is certain changes in the manufacturing procedures or in the packaging procedures. Okay, so if we have a streamline procedure, we have a one-line procedure, when we are going to validate that particular procedure, it will directly go for the finished things. Okay, we are already validated and that is okay. But if there is certain change in the manufacturing process or the process for the packaging, okay, then the revalidation will again is very important. We have to go for it. Okay, because there may be the chances of deviation in the microbial growth. How much product is actually required? So it depends upon the contents, it depends upon the different dosage form or the formulation that we are going to have. If the product is in liquid form, then the volume not less than 20 ml is preferred. If it is granular, then a weight of 20 gram is preferred. If it is more than 20 grams, then definitely certain other higher amount, either 100 grams or the 100 ml is being required. And these are required only to these are required for a testing, for a full validation, so that, because we all know that if the product if we have a high mass of the product, then only we can confirm the identity, then we only can confirm our inferences, then we have to come the better results. If the substance which we are using it is in a micro quantity, then it may be possible that the presence or the absence cannot be validated. So we have to take the sufficient amount of these materials which are going to be validated for the antimicrobial testings. Okay, so the testing time interval are there. Under normal conditions, the turnaround time performed to the antimicrobial effectiveness test is 7 weeks, and it is only because of the incubation requirements. If scheduling arrangements are made prior, then it is possible to reduce the time that is needed to prepare the necessary organism used in the testings. Okay, so these are the certain references that comes under for the preservative effectiveness test. And if you want to just go through these references, you will find more and more information regarding this particular testings. Okay, so I think that this is enough for the antimicrobial preservative test. We will meet with a new topic. Then we will meet with a new lecture in another class. Stay tuned with me. Thank you.